Do the New York Jets have a top 10 line in the NFL? Let's talk about it. So let's first off talk about our two starting tackles, Mekhi Becton and George Fant. Not saying who plays which position because the Jets will be having a competition for the left tackle job this offseason. And for those who think this is a knock on former first-round pick Mekhi Becton, it's not, because last season George Fant was a really good left tackle. We had the third lowest pressure rate among all left tackles last season with a 3% pressure rate, 18 pressures allowed on 594 pass blocking snaps. That's really freaking good. And while Mekhi Becton was a first-round pick in 2020, Fant played like one last season, and as a right tackle in 2020, he really wasn't that good. He was just an average starter. So the New York Jets would be stupid to not give Fant a chance to win the left tackle job, and Becton has been good at both tackle positions. I actually thought he was getting drafted by the Jets to play the right tackle position, not going to lie. So not a bad idea for the New York Jets to have these two battle it out, and it's definitely not a knock on Becton at all, who many people seem to make fun of because of his injuries, but let me tell you this. He has been working with a nutritionist the entire offseason. He has a private chef. Both are helping him get his body in really good shape. And you've seen his workout videos on Twitter. You've had to. And they look insane. He looks like he's in great shape, and I bet he's not going to miss much time in the future. And then I really like our guards because we have two Pro Bowl caliber players. Lanka Thompson, who actually made it last season, and Vera-Tucker, who had a pretty promising rookie year. Now, Thompson, as I said, was a Pro Bowler in 2021 and was a big leader on the 49ers team last year. A lot of players were sad to see him leave, so it's great to see a player like Thompson on the New York Jets who can hopefully lead our team to a playoff appearance. And a lot of the Jets signings were these big leader guys who have come from championship experienced teams, guys like Lanka Thompson, guys like CJ Uzomah. So a good signing in Thompson the Jets made this all season. And then of course we have Vera-Tucker, the guy we traded up in last year's draft to get, had a promising rookie year, and I think will continue to thrive in his NFL career. And then we have Conor Mcgovern, who many people think is a liability, but he was a top 10 center according to Pro Football Focus last year. A lot of people wanted to improve over him this offseason, wanted to sign Ryan Jensen, wanted to sign Bradley Bozeman. But you got to realize, he played pretty identical to those players last year. They weren't much better than he is. And yeah, maybe we wanted to get a younger guy, but McGovern's honestly not that bad. You don't try to improve something that's not that bad on your team, especially when you have many other holes on your roster. So I feel like Conor Mcgovern will in fact surprise a lot of people this year. So our 5 starting offensive linemen are good. Jets have one of the best starting O-lines in the NFL, but what makes an offensive line good is the depth. And do the New York Jets have good depth? Well, in the 4th round of this year's draft, we drafted Max Mitchell to essentially be a swing tackle and maybe even a future starter for the New York Jets. He was Pro Football Focus's highest graded tackle out of the entire FBS last year, so that's definitely something. And he's also coming from Louisiana Lafayette, a school that is known for producing pretty good offensive line talent. So if Mitchell follows the footsteps of many others that have came before him, I feel like we could have a pretty solid backup tackle in him. And then we also have Nate Herbig, a guy we claimed off of waivers not too long ago. He's a very versatile offensive lineman, has played all 3 interior offensive line positions. He allowed a pressure rate of 4.36 on 858 career pass blocking snaps, which is better than the league average. He does have a penalty issue, but he's also a backup player. And when you have a backup offensive lineman who is doing things better than the league average, that's definitely impressive. And then we also have Feenu, who, like Herbig, is just an average offensive lineman. But you want to have those average guys as depth, because when Feenu came in last season, he did his job. He wasn't perfect, but he also didn't make the offense worse. He just did his job. Guys like Herbig and Feenu can come in and keep the offense afloat. They won't allow Zach Wilson to get sacked like 50 million times a game. They will keep this offensive line steady, and they will keep the offensive line moving if an injury were to happen. So Joe Douglas has built some pretty good starters on the offensive line as well as backup O-linemen. So just a really good job by him, and he definitely has revamped the offensive line, which was his number one mission when he came to the team in 2019. But let's go ahead and talk about the other players on the Jets offensive line. We have Conor Mcdermott, who is the best tight end on the roster, but is too humble to play it, so I have us cutting him. Chuma Edoga, third-round pick in 2019. Really hasn't done much in his NFL career. Have us cutting him. Parker Ferguson, Greg Snad, and Grant Hermans. 2 undrafted free agents from last year. Honestly, don't see him making the roster. We have Drew Samina, just a late free agent addition last season because of injuries. And then we have Ross Pierbatcher, who's a backup center. Also don't see him making the final cut as well. So that is a breakdown of the Jets offensive line, and I do believe it is a top 10 unit in the NFL. So thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, let me know by hitting the subscribe and like button. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at @Dude_Jets for more content. And you can also check me out on Let's Talk Sports. They have a lot of big things coming. They have a new website coming up. They have a lot of Jets content creators coming on their platform. And they also just have a ton of New York-based sports content on their show as well. So if you guys are interested in that, you can check out their Facebook page down below. I also have merch, Z-Wiz to G-Wiz Design. If you guys are interested in it, $20 for shirts, $35 for hoodies. Check it out down below. And I'm your host, Jit, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.